Well, we're here today to talk about the proposed changes to the Equal Opportunity Act and to have a look at them in the light of how they will affect churches and organisations with a religious ethos. And I'm particularly here because my expertise is in religious liberty worldwide, and these sorts of anti-discrimination laws have already been brought in places like Europe. The equal opportunity legislation in Europe is nearly a decade old now. It's well established. The European Council directive mandates equal treatment for all peoples regardless of age or disability or religion or belief or sexual orientation in the workplace, so in employment and occupation. And that means that that no workplace, even if they're a Christian organisation, is supposed to discriminate against anyone who they employ. There have been some minor safeguard measures brought in, but overall it's a very authoritarian sort of point of view. The most serious element is the harassment clause, whereby harassment is defined as discrimination under the Act if anything an employer does has the effect of causing offence to one of their employees. So it could be something as simple as a Christian employer has put a poster up on the wall advertising a Christmas service, and that offends a Muslim cashier or employee. That can be enough to have the employer charged with discrimination under the offence. It's quite serious legislation, and it affects not only public services but also private services as well, private institutions. So it's very invasive. Groups that have done a lot of service in serving the poor, feeding the hungry, involved in medical work and aid work, will lose the right to actually choose who they employ. If they don't employ a particular person, they could be sued for discrimination, and then they will have to bear the burden of proof and prove that they did not actually commit an act of discrimination. And that's a very expensive process to be dragged through the courts like that, because people who give a service to the public are going to be expected not to discriminate. A Christian organisation, say for example an adoption agency or a foster care agency, will lose the right to choose who they foster their child out to. They will no longer be able to discriminate on the grounds of, say, sexual orientation. If they're caring for a child, say from a Christian family that's undergoing real serious stress, they will not be able to choose not to give that child to a homosexual couple. The gay rights lobby is a very strong force behind these changes. They are really striving not just for human rights, because they already have the same human rights that you and I have, but they're really striving for an acceptance of their lifestyle without prejudice. So to force, say, a Catholic foster care agency to be able to say there's nothing wrong with giving a child to a homosexual couple, that's as far as they want it to go. They acknowledge that religion is one of the most significant battlefields that they have to struggle in for full acceptance of their choices. But of course, once again, full acceptance of their choices is a conscience issue for Christians. It's even been suggested to me by advocates of the amendments that if people are breaking the law, it's not even an issue of religious freedom anymore. In China, for example, the Chinese Communist Party will tell you that there is not one single Christian in jail in China on account of their faith. Every Christian in jail in China, in education camps, re-education camps in China, is there because they have broken the law. And the fact is they have. It is illegal in China to meet for prayer and Bible study in an unregistered fellowship. So when Christians gather in someone's home to pray and to read the Bible, If the police come in, then they have been caught breaking the law. They are not subjects of persecution, they are criminals, and the state is just following the processes of law. So once again, the law becomes an instrument of persecution. People who are advocates of these sorts of measures really want is for the church to be silenced, for the church's objections to their lifestyle, or for the church's objections to their beliefs, saying that their beliefs are not true, for the church to be silenced.